Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am your host, the notorious H.I.M, and I am back with another BDSP Wi-Fi battle for you. This is against one of my subscribers. I ran into him the other night on the 2022-2021 Wi-Fi battle code, and it was a great battle. So shout out to Dranes. I appreciate the battle, my friend, but this one is definitely a banger. I'm using the same team that I used last video, the same team that we battled with last time. So a lot of familiar mons on here, and I'm telling you guys, like, this has probably been one of my most fun sessions using this team. This team puts in work, bro. I love using this team, and no surprise because some of these mons are really good. Dranes goes ahead and he leads out the Rotom, and of course I'm rocking pimp hands, so I'm coming in here and trying to slap a bitch. So I come in here, and of course, you know, I'm gonna go for that fake out. That's what Ambipom does, and he knows that. So he ends up going out here. He doesn't want to get the shit smacked out of him. He goes out into Fortress, which is a great play. Obviously, Fortress is super defensive. This spiky walnut here doesn't care about getting faked out. So honestly, I could do a couple of different things, right? Like Fortress tends to want to just Volt Switch out of here, set up Hazard. So I'm thinking he's already slow, but if I could get the para on him, that could benefit me later on. So that's what I'm gonna end up going ahead and do. I go ahead and get that T-Wave off, and now it's paralyzed. So it ends up working out perfectly because he gets fully parried first time. So that ends up working out good for me. So I'm thinking here, you know, I could just, you know, get up out of here. You know, he's probably gonna go for like you know, either Toxic Spikes or Spikes or Volt Switch. You know, this thing could do a lot of things. So I end up going out into into Quagsire here because honestly, the Quagsire is probably gonna hit this the best, right? Like, I can start scalding, I can start, you know, like putting pressure on things. I mean, I really could go into a lot of different mons, but predicting the Volt Switch, you know, Quagsire is definitely gonna be the best mon to come in here and get off some damage here. So that's what I end up doing. I go ahead and go into Quag here, the living legend, the legend himself, Quagsire. So he goes for the Volt Switch. So it ends up being like a perfect play. Honestly, I predicted it perfectly, and now I can start going for some Scalds, you know, Earthquakes. You know, it really doesn't make any difference. I think Scald is gonna be the best play because if he switches out, you know, something could get burned, and this thing is not the most specially defensive, so he really doesn't want to take, you know, a lot of Scalds here. He ends up going for the T-Spikes, which is a great play from Dranes, honestly. Like, that's going to help him kind of whittle down a lot of my mons later on. But honestly, I'm not too worried about it because the mons that it would affect would be, you know, Quagsire and some other mons, but overall, it's not gonna really do too much to me. I can just go into Empoleon and defog later. So my objective is to try to get this Fortress up out of here so that he can't continue to lay down those traps, bro. Like, I don't want that on my side of the field. So I'm gonna continue putting pressure and continue to Scald here, and there's nothing that he's gonna be able to do. He does go out into the Rotom, great play. But honestly, you know, this Quagsire is built different, bro. Like he is definitely not the normal Quagsire that you see running around. Like, this is definitely water absorbed Quagsire. So this thing walls Rotom Wash perfectly. It cannot touch me with the electric moves, and I'm just gonna eat all that water that you throw out of me. So I go for the Toxic here, and he gets off a big trick. So now this Quagsire is pretty much locked in to the Toxic here. So he's not gonna be that useful, but honestly, Quagsire is such a beast. Like, it really doesn't make any difference. Honestly, because I'm locked in, like, there's really no reason for me to stay in. You know, I think Sears is probably gonna be the best play, so that's what I end up doing. I end up going out into Rotom-Mow the Sears here because I could threaten this thing out with a big Leaf Storm, right? This thing doesn't want to take that. And predicting that, Dranes makes a great play and goes for that Volt Switch. So now he's going to be able to get up some momentum and bring in a mon that could probably deal with this a little bit better. So good on him. Honestly, I'm not too sure what he goes for, but he ends up bringing in the Shuckle, which isn't that big of a play because I could easily just go for a Volt Switch of my own. And now I can bring in something that's going to be super threatening to this damn this Shuckle here. This Shuckle is a beast, so I don't want to keep this thing around. I don't want him to start stacking up hazards on me and all that kind of stuff, so I'm inclined to just go into this big Metagross, and you know, this big choice band Metagross is gonna have him a good time. So he makes a great play and goes for the knockoff, so that's great for him, because now it knocks out the choice band, because I'm pretty confident that with that choice band it would have been overkill on this, right? Like I would have been able to easily kill this thing with that big choice band. But that's fine, as long as he doesn't get up any more hazards, I'm pretty good, because as you can see, I have a lot of mons that are either flying type, levitate, or steel type, so they don't really care about that toxic spikes. So I can always defog it later, which is great. My friend Dranes, he goes out into the Drifblim here, and I've never really faced too many of these, but I do know they tend to pack the unburdened ability, and I really don't want that smoke, bro. Like, this thing could be an ultra threat, so I have to hit this thing as hard as I can, as quickly as I can, to get this thing up out of here. It's not gonna be a good day for me if this thing starts to set up. So my objective here, I'm just kind of looking at how many mons he got and what's going on, and I'm like, yo, I gotta get this thing up out of here because I don't want the smoke. So I'm gonna go for this big Meteor Mash, and it misses. He gets lucky with some RNG there, and it misses, because looking at this damage, bro, like, I'm pretty confident that this thing would have left a sizable hole in this balloon here if this thing would have landed when I first clicked it. But he gets off the Will-O-Wisp, which is great for him, because now it's just gonna half everything I'm gonna be able to do. Like look at that damage even with the burn. So you can't tell me that if my choice band didn't get knocked off, if I didn't miss the first Meteor Mash, this thing would have been up out of here. He takes advantage and goes for the Hex and knocks me out here. So now I have to decide, right? Like this thing is definitely more specially inclined. I could very easily kind of go into Wonder Woman here, go for a Stone Edge or something, but I'm thinking, you know, it's probably gonna be in my best interest to see if I can get these toxic spikes up out of here, because it's gonna help me later on. I don't want the Ambipom getting toxic. I'm really gonna need that once I get this Drifblim out of the way. And looking at the health here, you know, he's not gonna be able to withstand too much attacks from this Empoleon. So he goes for a great play and goes for the Calm Mind. So now he's boosted up, and that's scary as hell, because when you get a Drifblim that's starting to boost up, it probably got the unburdened ability. Like, it's gonna be bad for me, so I really can't take a lot of this, you know. Like, I gotta get this up out of here as quick as I can. So I go for that Defog just to get off these toxic spikes up out of here. I really don't want this toxic affecting any more of my mons. And he continues to Calm Mind in front of me. He's decided, you know, I'm not going out. You're gonna have to deal with me 1v1, and it's not gonna be good for Empoleon. So I go for the cheeky play and go for Ice Beam. I'm sure he probably doesn't expect that, but with those two boosts, bro, like, there's really not much that thing could do. All I could really do at this point is fish for the frozen, right? Like, fish for a freeze. That's all I could really do now, because he gets that unburden, and now he's gonna be an ultra threat. He's gonna start strength sapping. He's faster. Like, this guy is a threat, bro. Like, I gotta get this Drifblim out of here right now. Like, I don't have the time to play with this thing. He has strength sap. He has the Calm Mind. He's just gonna get more and more bulky, more and more offensive as every turn goes by. So I get him my Stealth Rocks, which is great, because if I could get this thing some way, somehow to switch out or get frozen or get killed, it's at least gonna allow his other mons to get affected by those rocks. So that's what I end up doing. He goes for the cheeky play and goes for the Will-O-Wisp, but obviously, you know, Empoleon isn't really physically inclined, so he's doing that to try to nullify the Leftovers, which is a great play. If I could get like a lucky crit or something, that would be great to get this Drifblim out of here, because this thing is bulked up and it's a ultra threat. I gotta pop this balloon right now, bro. Like, I gotta do something, or if not, I'm gonna lose this battle. He goes for the Hex, and honestly, looking at that damage, I can only take one more, obviously, so I'm gonna get one more Ice Beam off. But I'm like, okay, if this could just kill it, it would be perfect, but it doesn't. He hangs on, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to sacrifice Empoleon. Empoleon not gonna be around, but I can at least come in with another mon who's probably gonna be faster, or, you know, be able to live a hit. And now I'm thinking, wait, I can't really use Ambipom shenanigans against this thing because it's a ghost type. So I have to really think carefully of what my next play is and my next move is going to be, because if not, this thing could just end up start sweeping. So I'm thinking, okay, Sears is probably the best bet because it is a little bit more especially defensive, if anything, and I really don't know this Drifblim spread. So my thought process is if I could come in, I'm Scarfed, I may be able to get off a Volt Switch, you know, and kill this thing. So that's what I go for. I go for the Volt Switch, but forgetting mid-battle that he is unburdened, he's gonna be faster, he goes for that Hex. And look at how much damage this does, bro. Like, look at what these boosts do to Sears. Poor Sears, you know, he's not having the best of times, but I definitely go ahead and get that big Volt Switch off and get this thing up out of here. Thank God, because this shit was a threat, bro. Like, this Drifblim was setting up right in my face, getting unburdened boosts, all that. Dranes is just having him a good time knocking out my Mons. But looking at how things are going, bro, like I got a lot of Mons left that could still come in handy. My main play now is just to bring in Ambipom and just start going for Ambipom shenanigans. Like, what can he really do? He could probably go for the Fortress, you know, bring that back in, but you don't want to contend with this with the level of health that you're gonna be at, right? Like you're paralyzed, you're like about 25% health, bro. Like, this is not gonna be able to help you. But of course, I have to go for this free damage here, so I'm gonna go for this big fake out here and do even more to you. The thing with this Ambipom is true say, like, this thing is funky as hell. Pimp Hands, he carries things that no other pimp carries. I'm rocking the the low sweep here, so you know, I'm thinking, you know, this might be able to kill it. You know, I may be able to take this thing out from here, you know, and get this threat up out of here, because I really don't want to have to be dealing with this Fortress anymore. Like, I'm thinking the low sweep is probably gonna take this out, and he's already slower, you know, so I'm not really too concerned about the the speed reduction, honestly. But I definitely don't get a little bit lucky here, because I don't kill it, but I do get lucky in the same in the same sentence, because he goes and gets the para. So that's great for me, and now I can get another chance to just kill this and take this out. So Fortress goes down, and that's great for me, because honestly, this thing, you know, kicking these spiky balls in the face, you know, it's not the best of times for for Pimp Hands here. Here comes the Machamp, and damn, this thing is a threat. Look how bulky this thing look, bro. Like, this thing about to punch me right in the face, and I really can't allow Pimp Hands to go down, because I could always just come in and start fake outing later, right? Like, that's my saving grace this battle. Ambipom is a menace, bro. Like, you really don't want the smoke with Ambipom. He goes for that Ice Punch, and it's really not gonna do shit to this Quagmire here. So I could very easily get off like you know, a Scald or something like that, and I think that's probably my best play, what I should have done, but I end up trying to get a Toxic off on this, because I know that I'm gonna be Scarfed, so whatever I go for, I'm gonna be locked into. And Dranes makes a great play here. He goes back out into Rotom, but because he's already Toxic. So the thing is with this Quagmire is, though, I'm Water Absorb, bro, so you're not gonna be able to touch me with anything. I'm not going out. I'm not going anywhere, bro. I'm just gonna continue to Toxic, because you can't touch me. We can't touch each other, and it's not gonna be good for you. So you might as well just leave, bro. Just get up out of here. He goes for the T-ball, but I'm not going anywhere, bro. You're gonna have to deal with me 1v1, and you're already poisoned, so you're gonna have to make a choice, Dranes. You're gonna either stay in and lose this, or go into something else and get Toxic, because that's my play. I know he can't touch me. I know with the Water Absorb, this thing has no way to touch me, really, so he goes out. He has to. He has no choice. He goes back out into the Machamp, and honestly, this thing is probably Guts boosted, right? So him taking the Toxic on this is probably the best play, but I'm really not afraid, because if anything, he's just gonna die to the Toxic, so I'm really not too afraid of this thing. Obviously, this thing could probably pack the Bullet Punch. I really don't know what this thing could really do, but he's probably gonna hit me with a big move and hit me right in the head, so I'm just gonna stay in here, right? Like, there's really no point in me going out. Like, the only thing I could really probably do is probably go out into Sears and get killed, and then bring something else in to deal with this, and that's probably the best play. So that's what I end up doing. I go out into Sears here just to get killed, because from this level, Sears not gonna be able to do nothing, right? Like, go for the Dynamic Punch, and he kills this Sears, so he kills this Rotom-Mow. So that's unfortunate for me, but you know, I definitely appreciate everything that you've done in this battle, Sears. Thank you for your contribution to my success. But look at this Toxic. It's, you know, it's gonna whittle him down, so it's not the best, you know, the worst thing for me. I can now go out into Pimp Hands and start slapping the shit out of things again, you know. this Ambipom is 100% a menace to his team, and nothing wants to take this fake out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and get this this silk scarf fake out here. You know, I got the Burberry scarf on, you know, so I'm gonna go ahead and fake this thing out. That does a sizable amount of damage. He probably doesn't want to take another one, so my best play is probably just to get up out of here, either hard switch out into Quagmire or get off a U-turn or something. But you know, he's guts boosted, and I really don't know if this thing can get bullet punch, and I don't want to die, right? Like, Ambipom needs to stay around if I'm gonna beat this thing. So he goes out, I go out into the Quagmire, and he gets off a big dynamic punch, and look how much damage this does. I'm definitely thinking from here that it's probably guts boosted. It could be no guard because he did get the crit, so I really don't know, honestly, and I can't live another one. So my only saving grace is that, you know, probably go for a recover, maybe with the choice scarf that I have, maybe I'll be able to outspeed. I really don't know, but no. He goes ahead and he hits me again with the dynamic punch, kills off Quagmire. Thank you so much, Quagmire. We definitely appreciate you. But couldn't survive today. This doesn't make any difference to me because Dranes knows that this is gonna go down to this toxic, bro. This thing been in here for a while. You know, you're gonna succumb to that poison, bro. So now it's pretty much an even field, and you already know what's gonna happen. You already know what time it is. I'm bringing in Ambipom, the pimp hands, to start slapping the bitch. So he goes out into Rotom, which is fine. Obviously, I know this thing is not choice scarf. He's not gonna be faster than me, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this this fake out off on you, and there's nothing you can do, right? Like, you really can't do anything. Like, Pimp Hands has been slapping bitches the entire match. So look at that damage, look at that, and I get the crit. That's great. I get the crit, knocks this thing out. I don't know if that matters or not, but honestly, it really wouldn't make any difference. Like, Dranes really couldn't do anything. All he could have potentially done was either like Volt Switch or you know, go out into, you know, this thing, the Fable, this big ball of chewing gum here. Now I'm thinking, okay, I probably can't switch out because all I have left is the Salamence, and I don't want to take unnecessary damage because that's really my win con, right? So I have to go ahead and get off this this T-Wave, and that's what I end up doing. I get this T-Wave off, and he starts Moonlighting. So he shows me the Moonlight, which is fine. I think at most he can only have 8 of them, so if anything, I could really stall it out if I really needed to. But now I can start just low sweeping, getting this thing as slow as possible because that's really my best play. I don't want to go out into Salamence to take like a Moonblast and you know, potentially lose my win con, which is Salamence. Believe it or not, you know, 1v1, Salamence has a chance here. Looking at the battle, I only got 3 minutes to make this thing work, so I know what my strategy is. My play is to try to get this thing as low as possible, you know, before, you know, coming in and hopefully with Salamence here get some big damage off. But you know, I have to just continue to low sweep this thing in the face. If Dranes is smart, he's probably gonna try to keep Moonlighting to keep as healthy as he can because he probably realizes what's gonna happen. He probably realizes that he needs to keep this thing as high health as possible, being his last mon. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't make any difference because if the timer went out, I got 2 mons, you got 1, bro. It's really a done deal. But I know my ultimate strategy, my ultimate win con is just to get this thing low and try to just come in with Salamence. I know that I could live at least 1 because he's not calm-minded, which is great. I know I could at least live 1 Moonblast and probably get some big damage off. I know I'll be faster, so I'll probably be able to get 2 hits at maximum. But that may be enough, right? So he didn't Moonlight. He decided to go ahead and kill this thing, which is fine. You know, he's gonna get that leftovers health, but being paralyzed, you know, I'm hoping he, you know, he's gonna get, you know, fully parried here. That's pretty much what has to happen. I have to get a little bit lucky here for me to beat this Clefable, this big ball of chewing gum. I gotta get lucky. Stone Edge is my highest move that I could go for. That's gonna damage this thing. I could probably get a crit. That's my play. I click it. I'm choice scarf. I'm locked in, bro. I'm locked and loaded, bro. So that's what I go for. I go for this big Stone Edge, and it does a sizable amount. So he gets parried, which is great. Sorry, Dranes. RNG, bro. That's my bad, bro. But I needed that to happen. Obviously, I know I could have lived 1, so I don't think it really would have mattered because I'm faster. So I had to live at least 1. So I get off this big Stone Edge here, and all I need is a crit or just 1 more. I know I can live 1, so I know this game is pretty much over. And if I haven't done so already, guys, please take the chance to, you know, like the video, subscribe. Your boy greatly appreciate it. And enjoy the battle because Dranes, this one is over. GG for the battle. I appreciate you, man. And it's over, bro. This Stone Edge has to land for me to win. If I miss this, it's over. So I have to hit this Stone Edge 80% accurate. I go ahead and I hit the Stone Edge, and that kills the Clefable, guys. And that's the battle. And I appreciate it. I'm out. Peace.